Manchester United 1, Brentford 0. Steph, it's been a while since, we've been on a match review together. Tell me what your initial thoughts as the game's finished.
As the game's finished, I'm happy. Of course I'm happy. 3 points in the bag. 3 points in the bag, maintaining that pressure for the top 4 places. There's I can't be negative with that. 1-0, I wish, my expectations before the game, I was hoping that we could score more than 1 goal. Because obviously I feel like our goals have been lacking this season, but we all know why, because we haven't got that presence, that striker presence up front. And I think that really showed today, because we didn't capitalize on any of our corners. None of our corners. I think we had 11 corners in the end, 12 corners.
Crazy like that.
None of them converted, not even close. So that's a worry moving forward, for the remaining games of the season. But, for right now, I'm happy. I'm happy with that result.
Yeah, it was important for United to obviously, get to, a better start in games. And you saw the Newcastle, obviously, defeat. A lot of people were calling for Ten Hag's head. He makes a change to the squad today by taking off Weghorst, who on social media, as I touched on social media and in the media, has had a bit of stick. Ten Hag takes him out of the limelight. He plays Marcus Rashford through the centre. Marcus Rashford scores another goal. Again, he just can't stop scoring. What were your thoughts about Ten Hag's change today?
I actually think that it has, this is my opinion, my humble opinion. I think it has less to do with Weghorst's, his lack of scoring, and more to do with Sancho and allowing Sancho that space, giving Sancho that start. Obviously, we've seen Erik Ten Hag's comments this week surrounding Sancho. Take that how you will, but there did seem to be a bit of pressure being put on Sancho by Erik Ten Hag, and I think that this was Sancho's test today by actually starting him. So I think it has less to do with Weghorst. That being said, he chose to sub Martial on instead of Weghorst, so look into that what you will. But yeah, Erik Ten Hag's not one. He's not a reactionary manager. I don't think. I don't think that he would have reacted for fans or whoever, pundits calling for his head because he subbed on two attacking players in the Newcastle game and took off 2 defenders. Look, everyone's human. Every manager makes mistakes. I get that. It was a bad mistake for him to make. And I think that he has learnt his lesson. The only thing that I would say is with the players that he has at his disposal, limited. Yeah. We've got a relatively big squad, but the depth in it, our backups aren't as good as our starting 11. And so I think, that was really telling, particularly today as well, I thought. But yeah, no, all in all, I don't think Erik Ten Hag would have reacted to what was said in the media. And I think that he would have been quite happy, actually, with that performance. And I actually think he would have been quite happy with Sancho's performance. I know that, Sancho didn't get an assist or he didn't get a goal, but it's just good for his confidence. I think that he can grow and grow. There were a couple of moments within the game where, oh my God, Sancho's close ball control, with his feet. Yeah. Amazing. I want to see him back to that. I want to see him doing that week in, week out, all throughout the games, full 90 minutes. That's what I want to see. That's the Sancho that I want to see.
Yeah, and you know what? That was actually going to be my next question about Sancho. But no, you actually cleared it up. Very, very cool for me. My question to you is just, where do you think he fits in? Because, there's been a lot made about, Jadon Sancho, taking on the fullbacks. It was something that he used to do at Dortmund. We're not really seeing as much of it now in the Premier League. Does he fit into Ten Hag's starting 11?
Okay, so my first thing is, and it's been said in the media, right? He's earning somewhere around 300k a week. And for that price, he needs to be starting games. That's a starter. If you cost X amount of money and was it 75? I can't even remember, 75 mil, and he's on 300k a week, you would expect him to be starting. However, he wasn't Erik Ten Hag signing. Considering, and then you've got to consider what he's been through off the pitch this season. I know, people are going to say I'm a Sancho sympathizer, but yeah, look, mental health runs really close to my heart, by the way. So, I have a bit more time for Sancho than I do most other players. Yeah. With regards to your question, where does he fit in? Now, here's my thing. I personally think that Sancho works better off the right. Contrary to popular opinion in the fan, in the fan community, I actually think that he works better on the right. But because because it's Anthony's first season, I think that, and Anthony is Erik ten Hag's player, I think that Erik ten Hag is just letting Anthony have that space and have that leeway. And if that means pushing Sancho over to the left or subbing him on the right or whatever, like, fair play. For this season, for the remainder of this season, I get that.
Yep.
Next season, I mean, it all depends on the ownership and who we buy and who we sell. I would definitely like to see more, like, Sancho starting more games, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. He had a solid game. I think Sancho needed to have an improvement. Definitely saw that today. Wasn't again the biggest performance, but it was a positive performance and it was a better performance. Moving through the team now, when we look at sort of like Luke Shaw started the game, goes off with a bit of a niggling injury. We're not too sure what the injury is. I'm pretty sure we'll find out tomorrow, and maybe on United View we'll let you guys know in the morning. But kind of looking into, the replacement who was Tyrell Malacia. What did you make of his performance coming on? Because he had quite a lot of time on the pitch. What did you think about him?
Yeah, I mean, look, Malacia had a lot more time than expected. I think, being a substitute on the bench, you were expecting to come on in the second half. He was like, right, I'm ready. 35 minutes in, I'm ready to come on. I think that Malacia did actually really, really well. The aggression, for me, he shows more aggression than Shaw. They have different, attributes. Yeah, they've got different skills. I think Luke Shaw's obviously a lot better going forward. Great with crosses and links up with Rashford really well. But Malacia brings that grit, the never giving up, the determination, the tenacity, the passion, the running for the shirt, running for the manager. And I love all of that stuff. And actually, this is probably a game that suited Malacia, just because it wasn't like a top tier team. It wasn't an Arsenal. It wasn't... I hate saying that because I don't want to be derogatory to Brentford. Brentford are a really good team. But it was the right sort of game for Malacia to come in, having not played consistently recently. This is the right kind of opposition.
Yeah. And so when we look through the rest of the team as well, we spoke about, Malacia. We've spoken about, Shaw. We've spoken about a few of the players. What did you...
Carry on.
I'm going to say Anthony.
Oh.
Yeah. We're going on to Anthony. We're going on to Anthony.
Okay, listen.
What has Anthony done for you today? Because I was a bit critical of him, right? What was Anthony saying?
Forget Anthony, right? Not forget him like that. Yeah. But I need to talk about Sabitzer real quick.
Okay. Marcus Sabitzer.
Listen, Sabitzer for me... Look, if it wasn't for Rashford's goal, Rashford gets man of the match because he scored the goal and we got the 3 points, right? But aside from that, for me, Sabitzer was just I feel like it was his best game in a United shirt, and I think that has a lot to do with his positioning and where Erik ten Hag played him. And I just hope that moving forward, regardless of whether Casemiro and Eriksen come back, he does get a spot in the team now and again to prove what he's worth, why we bought him in a more attacking midfield role.
Steph.